I'm Kristin. I'm with ArtSphere, and I'm going to show you how to do a cornucopia today. And I'd love for you to draw along with me. If you have a pen, pencil, crayon, any of that will work. Piece of paper. You may want to do this project again using construction paper, but I'm going to take you through just the basic steps of drawing cornucopia. We also have a handout for this, a series of handouts of fruit and vegetables, and we also have a cornucopia handout so that you can use that as a guide. Okay, so let's start together. What I'd love for you to do is start off with a large oval shape, and we're going to make the horn or the cornucopia as a series of curves. And then we are going to start to connect them. And what I like to do is leave a little bit of a space at the bottom, because we're going to have fruits and vegetables spilling out. Okay, so we're going to leave some space down here. You may want to get fancier with this, and we may want to do a lot of overlapping. Overlapping is when we put something over another. So when my hands are covering part of the other, one hand is covering part of the other hand, that's overlapping. And we're going to be doing some overlapping with our fruits and vegetables today. So in general, we think of a cornucopia, it's also called a horn of plenty, as kind of a symbol for Thanksgiving. So we're going to, for this drawing, we're going to add that fruit and vegetables. You may think about seasonal vegetables that you see right now during Thanksgiving. That might be a pumpkin. It may be some other shapes. So you will see a lot of shapes are ovals for fruits and vegetables, and you'll see that kind of repeated over and over again. When you add color, you're going to be able to make this look a lot more, I think, realistic and fun. So just think about that, as you're doing things. You may want to add those little details. So I just started adding a little bit of background. I started making the lines in my pumpkin. You could get even fancier with this, depending on your interests. So if you wanted to make things a little bit more natural, but getting the overall sense of like an oval again. Remember, we started off with ovals and then curved lines. So it's kind of following a theme. So the next thing I'd like you to do is think of some other vegetables. I've been thinking a lot about potatoes. Because we usually eat potatoes. You may think about yams or sweet potatoes. You may think about squash and zucchini. And I'm just going to draw the stems. Notice these are a lot of like oval shapes. They're very rounded, a lot of these. Yams, sweet potatoes have a little bit more of that pointed edge. And again, as you go, you may want to add some details. You may want to make more versions of different squashes, but this is a good start. You may want to start to add corn, because we usually see corn. And again, I kind of started off with an oval shape, And then you can start to go in and make the kernels. Kernels take some time, and I'm making them kind of, I'm not drawing all of them, right? I'm kind of making them sort of shapes. It's sort of, what I would say is sort of suggesting the rows without actually drawing every single corn. But it's up to you. You could get into detail if you want. I'm going to add the silk, which is that part that's kind of like clearish. That is the part that gets pollinated. And I'm going to add the green area for my corn, so my corn on the cob. You might want to add other things as well. So I was going to kind of start to go into fruits, and I will add, let's see, tomato. I will add, you may want to add things like grapes. And the stem. So again, circular shapes. And I'm doing a lot of overlapping, and you'll notice that I'm not drawing the entire shape. And you'll notice that I'm letting the shape go behind things. So I'm making some references so that they are behind things. So you're not seeing that whole grape there, it's behind my pumpkin. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit to start. You may want to start thinking about some other fruits, like an apple. You may think about a pear. You know, things like apples and pears, you might first think about your apple as being red, but you know, there's apples that are yellow and also green. Same pears, they can be yellow, they can be green. They may even have a little bit of red. So it's okay when you're coloring to kind of think about some different variations. You might think about things like a plum. You may want to think about bananas. You may want to do cherries. And just keep letting this sort of spill out and down and around. You may want to repeat some of these. I'm looking at putting a little bit more back in here. So I'm kind of thinking about what are some other things. You may want to add like blueberries. You may want to add oranges. And while I'm doing this, I'm kind of thinking about how can I add things. There's a little stem there. How can I add things so that the colors are going to be different? So I know the orange is orange, and my bananas will be yellow, and then the green, and then the red, and then purple grapes, and then red cherries and green stems. So I'm actually thinking now about like where different colors would go, so it'll be colorful. So we got orange pumpkin, maybe an orangish brownish yam, a brownish yellow potato, different yellows and greens for our squashes and zucchinis, red tomato, maybe green or yellow pear, yellow corn with the green surrounding it. So you may want to think about how you want to organize your colors. And in that sense, it's like thinking about your palette. So we're getting a chance in this project to really kind of experiment. For me, I would keep going with a little bit more fruit. So you may want to think about fruits from other countries, that like star fruit. You may want to think about fruit that like kiwis. I'm just going to put some different shapes in. So maybe a kiwi. You may want to think about different types of beans. You may want to add nuts. You may want to start getting a little bit fancier too, as far as maybe repeating some of the shapes, so that as this spills down, you have more things that are just spilling out. You might even, if you had construction paper, want to add things over to the side, and you could just keep gluing paper on. I think a lot of times with our students is you might start off thinking that you can only stay on that square page, but what's wonderful about glue is you can add paper to your paper. So in my case, I keep thinking about how I would like to add more paper over here and add shapes. And I think that's really kind of the special thing about art, is you're not limited to the shape you start with. You can always add. It doesn't have to be a horizontal or rectangle. Art can be a circle, art could be an oval, art can be an irregular shape. So it doesn't have to fit any one, format. So anyway, I'm going to just do a little bit more shape drawing. I might add some strawberries. I may want to do some overlapping, some shapes. I may want to put some more shapes down here. And you may want to think about how your fruits and vegetables don't all have to stand upright, right? They could be, if they're sort of spilling out, they may want to be like different angles. And again, it's the horn of plenty, so it's about abundance. So we want to see as many different things as possible. Maybe you'll start to think about what are your favorite fruits and vegetables that you love to eat. So a lot of curves, a lot of circles, a lot of part shapes. You're not seeing the entire shape because it's behind. How about some carrots? So how about some cauliflower or some broccoli? Maybe I can make a shape into something. So maybe one of those is cauliflower, maybe this one. Broccoli in between there. So I think color will really help. You'll get a little creative too. So now is the fun step, which is to add some color. And this is where I feel like you can really start to make things pop. I tend to color with the shape, following the shape or following the texture, but you can experiment. So I was thinking about this one being a zucchini, but you could also make that be, something else. Like one of the things I was thinking about was cucumbers, and the other thing I was thinking about was, wow, as I'm using my green, I'm like, oh, I forgot celery. So you may want to add some celery. And I can go back in So sometimes color actually inspires, at least for me, it inspires the actual thinking about what it is I want to draw. Like I think about the color first. Maybe you found that too. Some people will talk about apple red or mustard yellow. So people will think about colors in terms of food. So you might start to think about that too. So we think about sometimes grapes, purple grapes. We just use the color grape. I'm just going to add a few more colors just to get it started, but I hope you'll experiment a lot more and play with yours, play with your arrangement. Think about, if you want, you can get fancier. This could be done with crowns, it could be done with markers, it could be done with watercolors. So you can really experiment. So hopefully everyone will have a very happy Thanksgiving and a very abundant time enjoying eating, and think about healthy eating. And again, we have handouts and we have a lot of great resources for you to check out at our website. And we look forward to seeing any examples of artwork that you would be willing to share. Have a great day.